Hello friends, welcome to SFDC Tech, and in today's video I'll show you different ways to get data on LWC component. There are three ways to get data and work with it. I will try to explain each one and also will help you which way will be best in your business scenario. Each technique have its pros and cons and we will cover it in this video. The easiest way to get data is to use standard based components with Lightning Data Service. So what is Lightning Data Service? It is a way of loading the data in such a way that data received is stored on cache and shared across all components. As data is shared across all components, if multiple components are using this data, data is fetched only one time. Base Lightning components that are built on Lightning Data Service are Lightning Record Form, Lightning Record Edit Form, and Lightning Record View Form. As in this video, I am showing how to get data, so I will not cover Lightning Record Edit Form and Lightning Record Form with its edit feature in this video. So second one is wire adapter property and function. This is useful when we want to apply business logic on client side and play with record data. And also it is useful when we need to create custom UI, which is not possible with base Lightning components. So the third one and the last one is using Apex. We will need Apex when we need to filter out data based on the some requirements, or we need to fetch data from multiple objects in a single instance. I will get into more details while practice session. So let's move to practical code demo where I will explain with code example and show you how we can implement each technique. I will start first with base components with Lightning Data Service. So let's start with by creating a Lightning Web Component. I am naming it assignment 3. For this session, I am using standard object account, but you can use any custom object, any other standard object except task or events or external object. Lightning Data Service doesn't support custom meta data types. So if your requirement is based on tasks and events or external object, you can use other two ways. You can use other two ways, which I will show next after covering base component with Lightning Data Service. So the easiest way is by using Lightning Record Form to load the data. So let's move to .html template file, and I'm now going to add Lightning Record Form and attribute object API name is always required. So we must specify object API name equal to as we are showing way of loading of record. I will be using record ID to get the data. Lightning record form supports three types of modes. First, edit creates an editable form to add or update an existing one. When updating an existing record, we must specify the record ID. Edit mode is the default when record ID is not provided and displays a form to create new records. Second is view. It creates a form to display a record that the user can also edit. The record fields each have an edit button. View mode is the default when record ID is provided. Third is read only. It creates a form to display a record without enabling edits. The form doesn't display any buttons. So for this video we are showing loading of data, so I will be using mode equal to read only. So in simple words, if we don't specify mode and provide record ID, form will open in view mode and it will have button enabled. And if we don't provide record ID, form will open in edit mode. Let's come to fields. So for all modes, the component expects the fields attribute or layout type attributes. So first I will show you by adding a layout type attribute. So we have two type of layout type. First is compact. Now I am going to add object API name and record ID. So I am using API decorator for object API name and @API decorator for record ID. So let's save it. Let's add the target for this component to let us add this component on Lightning record page. Let's save it and deploy this component. I have already authorized my org and you can see it is deployed. So let's move to our Chrome. So now you can see I have come to account detail page. So I will be showing this custom LWC component as a tab detail after the news tab. So let's add. I'm going to edit page. So click on these details. So I'm going to add a new tab. So by default it is added as a details, but I would like to change it. I'm going to name it as a custom label, and I'm going to add name as custom LWC. And now I'm going to place my LWC component under this tab. And now I'm going to save it. So changes are saved. Now let's go back to our Lightning record page. As you can see here, without using fields, just by specifying the mode, and also we have specified the layout type compact. So if you see here, we have the layout exactly same as the highlight panel. So what does compact layout means? So compact layout type means that it is related to highlight panel that we have on the. So this is the highlight panel, and if you want to change the highlight panel field, you can go to object manager. There you can customize the settings for the highlight panel. So now let's come back to our VS Code and change the layout type to full. So let's save it and let's redeploy. So it is successfully deployed. Let's refresh it. After multiple refreshes, our custom LWC is refreshed, and now you can see the difference. Full layout type is loading all the fields. If you observe here, it have all the fields like it have on the detail page. So let's go to detail page. So compact, so layout type full is replacing our custom LWC with all the fields. So it is working fine, but it may lead to performance issue when there are many fields like say 200, 300, and we don't require all these fields. The one disadvantage with Lightning record form is we cannot control placement of fields. So here placement of fields is according to the details page. So that is the either layout, it is dependent on the highlight panel or page layout. So let's say you are able to control other requirement, just placement of field is not good. So let's add fields instead of using layout type. There are two ways of adding fields. First one is creating array of fields. So I'll show you how to do it. So now I am going to remove layout type, and I am going to add fields inside Lightning record form. There are two ways of adding fields inside JS. First one is adding array of fields by hard coding field name, or either we can use import statement from schema package. So let's add fields by creating an array of field name, rating, and yeah. Let's deploy it. Let's go back to Chrome browser. After refreshing, let's go to custom LWC component. So you can see now we are able to get record field and their values. And also the fields are shown in the order like we have described in JS file. So first we have given name, then rating, then annual revenue. We have described same in our VS Code in fields area. So you can see I have hard-coded field names in fields area. But let's suppose our field name changes or someone delete any field. Salesforce, Salesforce won't be able to tell us if this field is used in any component. For this, Salesforce provide a better way, that is to use import field schema. By importing the references, Salesforce verifies that the object and fields exist, prevents objects and fields from being deleted. It also ensures that any dependent objects and fields are included in change sets and packages. Importing reference to objects and fields ensures that your code works even when object and field name changes. So all object and fields imports come from Salesforce schema scope packages. Syntax for importing object is import object name from @salesforce slash schema slash object name. And for importing field name, syntax is field name import field name from Salesforce schema slash account, or you can say that object name dot field. Any object must use the naming convention provided by Salesforce. It is not a rule, but as a best practice, we can use this format. Import object name slash object from object name. And same for field name, we must use import field name underscore field from schema package. So let's import all of the three fields that we have created below. So first is name. second field is rating. Third field is annual revenue. So we can also use relationship fields, and we can specify up to 3 relationship fields, which results in 4 objects and the field being reference. So let's use one relationship field here, that is import count parent field from Salesforce schema. I am specifying parent ID here. So let's add this import fields inside fields array. First is name field, second is rating field, third is annual revenue field, last one is account parent field. Let's save it and deploy. Let's open our custom LWC component and refresh it. So now we are able to see the account name, rating, annual revenue, also the parent account field, that is we have created as a relationship field using import statements. So we are able to load the data on component by using fields or layout type without writing any Apex code. If your requirement can be completed by using Lightning record form, then you can use this. But there is one issue: we cannot control the UI path. So like here, we cannot control our UI path. So for customization of UI, or if we want to add represent this field values in any other base component, so let's move to another base component where we can load the data and without writing any Apex code, and also we can customize the UI according to our business need. Next base component is Lightning record form, that is useful for loading the data without any Apex code, and it also provides customization of UI. Lightning record view form creates a form that displays Salesforce record data for specified fields associated with that record. The fields are rendered with their labels and current values as read-only. We can customize the form layout or provide custom rendering of record data. For read-only fields, we must use Lightning Output Field component inside Lightning Record View form. First, the two attributes that are required is object API name. I'm using the same object that I have used above, and also the record ID is mandatory. And now we have two ways to define the fields. So either we can add the field as a property inside our JS file, and use these fields so I'm going to use lightning output field, and we can specify the field name. That the field name I have created in JS file, second way we can directly use the field name that we have imported. So let's add it also here. First field is name, second field is I'm going to add rating, I'm also going to add one SLDS box outside this two output field to achieve the purpose of this part. So let's create grid and columns for the first one. Now let's add box for the below two fields. Now I'm going to save it and let's deploy. Let's go to let's refresh our Chrome browser. Let's refresh our page, and after refreshing you can see we have customized our layout. We are showing one field against other field, and for the second option we have used the field name directly that we have imported. So now you can see, so by using both way, either by you can see either by declaring a property and using it in the template or by directly using field name, we are able to achieve the customization of UI. So we can use base components with LDS when requirement is to show details like record details page or form based layout, or we need to display record field values based on field metadata, or we need to display or hide field labels, or we can also display help text, or we can also perform client-side validation and enforce validation rules. But the disadvantage with Lightning Record Form or Lightning Record View Form, we cannot create custom UI, or we can and we cannot perform business logic on raw data. So I would say when requirement is to build custom UI that is not achievable using base components, or we need to perform business logic on raw data, then we need to move to second technique, that is using Lightning Data Services, wire adapter and functions. Let's see how we can use wire adapters and functions. So I'm moving to VS Code. To access raw record data so that you can perform business logic or create a form that needs more customization than the LDS. To access raw record data so that you can perform business logic or create a form that needs more customization than the LDS based components, we use at the rate wire to specify the get record lightning data service wire adapter. Each file adapter provides different data and metadata. We can use different wire adapter to provision the data from different objects. It is ideal for scenario where we need to show different UI rendering of data and don't have any dependency on each other. Let me add syntax first. Before proceeding ahead, we need to understand two things here first. First is Lightning UI Record API, and second is wire adapter. Lightning Lightning UI Record API is module built on user interface API that Salesforce uses to build Lightning experience and Salesforce. User interface API takes care of layouts, pick list, field level security, and sharing and much more than that. For reference, I have added link to user interface API in the video description. User Interface API supports all custom objects and many standard objects. Please note, external objects are not supported. Second thing we need to understand is wire adapter and functions. Wire adapters, wire adapters and functions in this module are built on top of Lightning Data Service and User Interface API. We use these wire adapters and functions to work with Salesforce data and metadata. Get record is the adapter ID and Lightning UI record API is adapter module. This is the adapter module and this is the adapter ID. The same adapter ID we need to use in the wire adapter that we have imported, and record ID is a record ID and with fields is a object, or we can say adapter config. So this is a adapter config. Record is a property. We can create functions also. The prefix tells us the wire service to treat as a property of the class and evaluate it as a this dot property name. The property is reactive. If the property value changes, new data is provisioned and the component re-renders. If we are using record property, data will be stored on record property. Then we can extract the data using get field value. That is also a method available inside UI record API module, or we can extract the data like I'll show you below. I have created a name funGetter function and I am returning the name value here. Second I'll create is Second, I have created this rating getter function where I am returning the value of rating. Provisioning data via wire is asynchronous. We must take care of null so that we don't get any error. Let's use the values of these two getters on template. I will use the same design that standard record detail page layout provides. For this, I have taken the reference from LDS, that is Lightning Design System. I will be pasting the reference in the video description. So inside a lightning card, I have created a form, and inside that I have using the class SLDS, and inside the form row I am using the form item. The label is name, and the value of name is name function, the getter we have created. So I will be copying the code for rating also. So this is the form item. I'll copy it from here, and I just replace the value of label, that is rating, and the value of getter. Let's save it. You can see that I have placed this lightning card outside of the lightning record view form. You can see that I have used lightning card outside of the lightning record view form. Let's replace these all of the non-use lines. There's one error I can see. Okay, so it must be SLDS dash form. Let's okay. Now let's go to our Chrome browser and see. Let's refresh it. So now you can see we are able to get this same data using wire adapters, record property name and rating code. So let me go back to the accounts, and so we are able to get the data, and let's say our business requirement is to display some message based on one of the field value. For example, if account type value is customer direct, we will show on the UI that it is joined direct, and if it is customer channel, then we will display on UI joined through channel. Let's move to VS Code to achieve this. I am going to create one UI message getter. First we need to add the import for type field. Um, adding the type field in the fields array. Let's check if we are getting the data. Then we will assign this, we will customize the message. So let's divide it into two cases. First one is the if type value is customer direct. If type value is customer direct, I am returning joined direct. Let's create one else if. For this, I am returning joined through channel. I will add one more row to display UI message getter value. And for this, I will create one more row. For this, I will create one more row. So let's copy from here. And as I will be showing only one value, I will be removing all of this from here. I will keep it here to keep the space of one item. And let me add what I will say, like it is like request qualification. Value of getter function is name of getter function, sorry. Let's save it and deploy. Let's refresh and see the latest values on the UI. So for the type, for this account type is customer direct, and let's see what we got on the customer LWC, that it is joint direct. Now let's see one example with channel. Switch to my accounts. For this we have type customer channel. So you can see here request qualification joined through channel. We have implemented this functionality using record property. Now I will implement the same using functions. I will remove the getters from here and write down the function. When data becomes available from the wire adapter, it's set in the data property. Error remains undefined. When new version of the data are available, data is updated. Let's add property type that I will use on the template. I will be removing the value of getters on the template and including the new property that I have created now. Let's assign the data to these properties. So here first we are assigning the name value of name value to the name val property. Second, we are assigning value of the rating to the rating val property, and we are checking if type value is not null, then we are checking it with it. If it is customer direct, we are assigning UI message val property join direct. Else if we are assigning it, if the customer value of type is customer channel, we are assigning it join through channel. So let's save it and replace that title of lightning card that now we are using functions. Let's deploy. It is deployed, and now I'll refresh the page. Let's open the one with direct, and now you can see using wire adapter functions we are able to achieve same using functions. So let's show you the one with customer channel. I believe it is pyramid. Yeah, so join through channel, it is related to functions. This is all about wire adapters property and functions. To improve performance, we use the wire adapter that returns the least amount of data that our use case requires. Like the LDS wire adapters, to work with multiple records, we can use multiple functions, but each operation is an independent transaction. To work with multiple records in a single transaction, we need to use Apex. Let's say with these two options, your requirements are not fulfilled. Then we have no other option left other than using Apex. When do we need to work with Apex? When the requirement is to work with objects that aren't supported by user interface API like task or event, or work with operations that user interface API doesn't support, like loading a list of records by criteria. For example, to load the first 200 accounts with amount greater than 50k. To call a method imperatively, that is like calling a Apex method on call of some actions or click of some button. If we need to load data from multiple records as a single instance, or we need to return wrapper data, we can use Apex. So for the third technique, that is using Apex. So let's say our requirement is to show, so let's open one account. So we have multiple contacts here. So let's say our requirement is to show details of CEO of account that is stored on contact under title CEO. So first let's create Apex class to fetch the details of contact of the title CEO. So with the title CEO, I will also add one more field, that is of account. Let's say I will add the number of employees and the CEO details. So I will return the number of employees. So to use the apex method, it must be annotated with aura enabled and pasteable equal to true. If you want to request this server every time, you can specify the cacheable equal to false, but it is not recommended until unless you will get the data every time you request. So now uh, we are we are returning the account record, and we are fetching the field number of employees and the contact fields name, title, where title equal to CEO, from account, where ID, the ID that we will pass from our LWC component, and we are checking if we are getting any data for account and contacts, and we are assigning it to the account record variable, and we will save it. And let's import this apex method inside our JS file. Apex method is import apex method name. So what is our apex method name? Get CEO details from Salesforce Apex. The class name, that is assignment, and the method name. We can also use namespace here, but by default namespace is C, and if your org has different namespace, then you can specify it here. So let's add the wired adapter to get the data. I will be using the function here. I'm adding property to show on UI. It is number of employees, CEO name, CEO title. It will be always CEO, and if no CEO, I will be displaying a message. Now let's assign the values to these properties. That is by using dot notation. If number of employees is not empty, we will assign the value. Otherwise, we will set it to null. So here I am checking if we are getting any contacts and its length is greater than equal to 1. So that must be zero, otherwise we won't be getting any contact from the apex method. If we are not getting any context, then I will be setting the value of no CO message, means that no CO found. For that I'll log it to console. Now let's add properties on the template. So I will be just copying pasting the code from here. Let's change the title to see your details. We will display number of employees as the first. This div is closed here, form row. This div is extra. I am going to remove it, and let's add one more row. But inside the template. So I am checking if we are getting the value of CEO. Then I'll use this form row and I'll change the CEO name. And is also available. Third, I will check is if there is no CEO, then I will display uh, CEO exist. No CEO message. I will use the same here. So this is part of conditions ending video that I have already posted, so I will paste the link in the video description. You can check that. So based on the values we are getting, I will be showing the labels and the values, CEO name and its property, and if there is no CEO, I will be showing the message. So let's save it. First I will deploy the assignment 3 apex class. It is failed. Okay, so I forgot to add this size braces. Let's redeploy. It is now deployed, and let's deploy the HTML file. So let's move to our Chrome browser. Here we have author song as a CEO. Let's check it if we are getting this. Okay, so CEO details, number of employees, CEO name, CEO title. So let's check one account where there is no CEO. Yes, let's check it. So CEO details we are not getting, but we are also not getting the error. So let's check it. What could be the error? Mm, 3000. Employees is 24,000, but because of I think our SOQL query we are not getting the data. So here I am checking if account list size is greater than 0 and account list dot contact dot size greater than 0. So as there is no CEO, this will not this will check this, and this condition is not satisfied. So the value with the number of employees is not assigned here, so it is not returned uh, to the LWC JS file, and same is not shown. So what we can do is we can modify our apex class that we can remove this condition, and let's save it and deploy. So let's refresh. Okay, now we get the error of reading length. For this error, what we can do is we can add one more if. Check. For this we can add one more if to check if we are getting any contacts. So I will do is let's save it, and we have Let's refresh the page and see if we are able to resolve the error. So you can see here we are getting the number of employees values and CEO exists as no CEO found. So let's check for one where we have the CEO or the song is the CEO. So here we are able to get the value of CEO name and CEO title. So we are now able to filter out the CEO record, which was not possible with other two techniques. I have shown you three ways to get data on load of components. So this is all about how we can easily get data on LWC components. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share.